Hit the light. Hit the light. Didn't I tell y'all? Y'all are being played with. Everybody's being played with all the time, being played with. You know? Hey, you know? Okay, so I'm having a chili, and it's spicy. Spicy. A little bit more spicier than I should have made it, but I like my stuff spicy. Hit that light though. So David and Celeste, who's up? Who's asleep? It's 2 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, I know it's Monday, but I know y'all participating in what's this one? Thanksgiving. So you gotta be up. You gotta be, I don't know, shooting up a turkey or something. That's good. Your family's coming in because you like rituals. You like rituals. You like being played with. You like being done this way. That's why you participate every year in these rituals. You can't stop, won't stop. Can't stop, won't stop. I just feel like when Diddy say that, he got to be pointing something at you like, like he your teacher or your mom or something. So, some of you are starting to catch on. Wow, this don't make much sense. This ain't normal. Good for you. But you know what I think it is? I think 1 or 2 channels watched my video and was like, could she have a point? Whoever it is, thank you for liking. First of all, let me play something for y'all real quick. Check this out. I just woke up. Hey, how y'all doing? Thank you for hitting the like. I just woke up and I'm having chili and it's spicy. And I'm having toast that I should not be eating. But it's toast with, it's like French toast. I slept so hard because I was so tired and worn out from my workout. I missed my documentary meeting. Yes. I'm shaking my head no, but the answer is yes, I'm a nerd. So we have documentary meetings in this documentary club. And we like to watch documentaries. If y'all don't watch documentaries, you should. Because you just learn a lot of cool stuff about a lot of cool things and cool people. So this week, we were doing Charlie Chaplin. If you don't know who Charlie Chaplin is, he was he did movies, he did comedy, he did like, it was way back in the day, back when Hitler was alive, and he did this movie called The Great Dictator. That's like his best known work. And what was the name of the movie, the documentary we were gonna go over tonight? Well, they went over it. I just wasn't there. Sorry, y'all, if you're watching. I was asleep. I was tired, and I laid down. I said, I'm going to take a nap for an hour. Yeah, right. I woke up and it was midnight. So we're going to talk about this more in another video. And we're going to go over some of Charlie Chapman's stuff. Now, before we get into David and Celeste, let me play something for y'all that I found odd. People out here really going crazy, y'all. Listen, check this out. These two guys, I don't know, I'll let them tell you.
And 8:37 on the West Coast. My name is Josh Breslow, and we've been following breaking news all throughout the morning, but we do have another developing story that we're keeping an eye on. This coming in moments ago from our Fox 4 Dallas team. And I do want to remind you and say here, viewer discretion is advised as some of the details are disturbing. Now, we're hearing that 2 North Texas men have been indicted for an alleged scheme to sail to a foreign island, murder all the men there, and enslave the women and children. Again, this information here coming from court documents, as they say the men planned and trained for nearly a year. That's according to legal documents, in an attempt, they say, to fulfill their, quote, rape fantasies. Gavin Rivers Weissenberg, 21 years old of Allen, seen there on the left-hand side of your screen, and Tanner Christopher Thomas, 20 years old, have been indicted by a grand jury on counts of conspiracy to murder, maim, or kidnap in a foreign country and production of child pornography. The charges were given for the pair's extensive plans to travel to an island, which is part of the Republic of Haiti, to attempt a coup there. That's again according to the documents. Weisenberg and Thomas reportedly prepared from August 2024 to July 2025 to execute their plans, in which they allegedly intended to buy a boat, sail to that island, kill every man on the island, overtake it by force, and take the women and children as slaves. The island there does have a population, we're told, of about 87,000 people.
Okay, there's an island in Haiti. Haiti, of all places. 87,000 people. They were going to go to Haiti. Just because this is reported, it does not necessarily make it true. That is extreme. I am certain that the government runs into people all the time who have schemes like this. And they just used to never tell us. At some point, they started telling us. I wonder who made that decision. Like, I think that was because they needed to know that, hey, you are amongst some weird people. You are in danger, and these are the type of things that we stop from actually happening. So, I do believe that this stuff does happen. One of the reasons I do believe it is because I told this story before. I was in truck driving school many, many years ago. And they were looking for these guys that were threatening to BOMB the U.S. You know, back then when it was really, really a thing. The government ended up finding out that they were going to use trucks. So they came in here legally. I don't know how they got blah, 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 but they ended up in a trucking school. And they were going to become truck drivers and do their thing, you know. You know what that is. And they had to come and arrest them in our class. No. Luckily for us, it was like maybe 2 weeks in. So we didn't hang out with them much. We didn't, you know. Because we would have been freaked out if we'd have went like the whole... They had all kind of stuff in their car, and we were just sitting there like, they was driving to school every day with bomb type stuff in their car and all that. So these things happen. Now, these guys, you mean to tell me these guys trained for a year because they wanted to go to Haiti? Just these two. Go to Haiti. Eliminate all men on that island. All the men. And then take over the women and children. And have their way with them. Make them their slaves. And they thought that they could accomplish that? They probably were that sick. Stuff happens. We don't know if this is true or not. But we've been told this. Now, we likely won't hear much about this again. We likely won't hear much about this again. But I'll be on the lookout for it. Now, there's a channel who, it seems like it's catching on to this David and Celeste situation. And how odd it is. Because I'm sitting here like, are y'all still making videos about that? Like you have actual updates? Like I said in my previous video, the things you're reporting now as an update in this case, that should not be an update. That should be the earlier news. It really should. I went to school for criminal justice, right? It just doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense. Now you're getting updates that he's labeled as a suspect. Listen, when a person ends up missing or gone, the person and people closest to them are the first suspects. Finding her in his car doesn't mean he did it. However, it sure as hell helps put him at the top of the suspect list. Not only to mention that she was extremely underage, it's mainly when they first started. And, you know, this girl is listed as a runaway, but she's with you this whole time, and she's underage, bro. So they find her body in your car, and you're black. And they told y'all, we don't know, he's not a... So he was on tour. You think that would stop them from naming him as a suspect? Now, let's listen to what this guy done in his video so far. Oh, we're gonna listen. This is
Private investigator
Black Balloons. I think we've used his channel before.
That talked on the Law and Crime channel or YouTube channel, right? But I will say this, there are some things that, and I'm talking physical evidence, that was at that house that is, there could have been greater plans as far as getting rid of her, and it's scary, sadistic stuff. So that's one thing I find odd. Now, I know it's an open investigation, But the LAPD is not updating the public. Maybe they don't feel the need to update the public. We keep getting this from TMZ.
I was about to ask, where y'all getting these updates from, honey? Oh, TMZ. So you mean to tell me all these channel creators, he has a great Gucci video? I haven't seen his Gucci video. I'm gonna have to check that out. I got, you know what? I got some stuff. I want to talk about Gucci. Yeah. I gotta put that together. Yeah. Right. What is really going on TMZ, with this case? That's makes not a news source. Question, TMZ is not a news source. Why was it blown up the way that it was? What kind of ritual happened with David and this young girl Celeste? If you haven't seen this, the new update is even more grim than before. Like before, we just got okay. It's a little more hard to believe too. Allegedly, David was popular. If we didn't know him before that, we don't know, right? Because I didn't know him before this. So I didn't know, dude. I don't know if he was really popular. That would take some research because they can make it appear like he was popular to those of us who did not know him. So he made this song because he was gaming and he was in his sister's closet. He posted it, people liked it, boom, it took off from there. Now people worship the ground he walked on and they made him popular. Who made him popular? Kids, children, online, bots? I'm gonna say children. If this story is true, it's likely children because he was a gamer. So, can a bunch of children make you that popular? Well, the game Roblox, 75,000 users on average. That's a lot. And we know all of them aren't children, but that's a lot. That's a lot. So, he was doing concerts and stuff. Oh, they say he opened up for SZA. How her team and his team got linked up, I don't know, but I would like to know. Because I want to know if that's true. Now, her team hasn't come out and said anything. I think that she should have been pressed to give a statement. Normally, I wouldn't go for stuff like that because she don't got nothing to do. However, in this situation, this is somebody that your team chose to allow to be your opening act. He was on tour with her as an opening act. You don't choose that person lightly. He was not known. He was not successful. Okay, he may have been known like in that community, right? Was she a gamer? How did she know about him? How did he become the choice? Was there a contest? How did this happen? What made them choose David to open for SZA? Did he really? Did anybody go to any of those concerts? Questions that I have. Now, all of a sudden, we hear about this. And it's being blown up by the media, right? And then by people online. Okay. Normally, all eyes are on this case. He's black and popular. Two things that they don't like, right? They would be hot on his tail. All we keep hearing is, David's not cooperating. We don't know anything because she was so badly decomposed. We don't know how long, what happened, and David's not cooperating. Oh, so he just get the opt out? That's what you're telling us? The black man just gets the opt out and not cooperate? Didn't even want to admit that the body was
decapitated in pieces. Now they are telling us fully how her body was found, the state that it was in, and all it is leaving is more questions. Why was it blown up the way that it was? We know it's a ritual. We know this probably was a sacrifice, but why? Why him? Why a 20-year-old artist named David that a lot of people didn't even know about until this murder happened? That officially we can't even call a murder yet. They may never know how she actually died. But whatever is going on, it almost seems like, you know, there's some kind of like, I don't know, secrecy about this, or just the way that this it's taken too long. It seems very odd. It seems a little bit meticulous to me, like the way everything is being rolled out.
Let's deal with the taking too long part. I'm realistic. Again, don't have the degree, right? But went to school for criminal justice. Sometimes murder investigations can take a long time, or death investigations, because it's not yet determined the murder, right? But we know she didn't do this to herself. That we know, because that's not possible. What alternate universe will we be living in? We know that's not possible. So we know somebody else did this. That's a fact. They know it, we know it. It's just the burden of proof, right? Okay, cool. The taking too long part. I don't see it. I don't see it, y'all. Hit the like for me. I don't see it. Listen, this is 2025. Now, we all know that wherever you dwell, live, in your surrounding areas, you're going to get, you're going to get accommodations, and like your community is going to be, according to that tax bracket, you're going to have nicer places to shop, nicer places to park. You're going to have more security. You're going to have this and that because you are a higher paying community and you are involved. And you're not going for all these potholes. You're not going for random people just breaking in all the time and nobody's doing anything. Like, you're not going to be in a impoverished area. You're going to be in a high surveilled, highly protected area, because that's what you work hard for, and that's the bracket you're in, and you're going to demand that. It's going to be there, your tax dollars and everything. You're involved with the voting, the local politicians and all that, and they know if they don't take care of you, you're going to hold them accountable and vote their ass up out of there, and y'all have community meetings and like, yes. So, I live in Atlanta, one of the most surveilled cities in America. But most cities are like this now. It's hard to go anywhere without camera surveillance all over the place, even in places that most people don't even know. However, when you're in higher communities, you're going to have more surveillance, because they want criminals to know that not over here, you don't mess with these. You don't touch their cars. Their children, you're not gonna, that's gonna be hard for you to do. You're not gonna rob them when they're going out to work. They're going for a jog, walk the dog. We're gonna get you. There's a security guard right here, right here, right here, and there's cameras everywhere. So you're not gonna get away with it. So is it worth it? It's never gonna be worth it unless you done lost your marbles. That's why you see more crime in more impoverished communities. Now, with that being said, we have established that there's a lot of surveillance around this area. Not to mention the type of car that she's in and the type of surveillance that microwave of a car presents of itself. Maybe I missed it, but I have not seen any anything that says we do have suspects on surveillance, whether they show us or not. We got surveillance from the house, up the street from the house, across the street from the house, the neighbors, the house itself. Again, back to the house, because I know they said they had cameras, whether it was active. Listen, I don't want to hear that cameras weren't activated. Whether somebody was actively monitoring them or not, um, I'm inclined to not believe that either. Now, if the homeowner is renting the home, it is likely that he is not accessing the cameras, because integrity would have you on a system that you can pass off codes to the tenants that are new, fresh, and just theirs, and allow them access and privacy. As a homeowner, would I want 100% no access to watch my property? Honest answer, no. No, I would want some kind of master ability to override everything and get what I need. Because, prime example, if there is a murder that took place in my home and the police are investigating, first of all, that is my asset. A home is not a car. A home appreciates in value if you take care of it. So that is my income. That is my investment. Now, even just Celeste was found in a car somewhere up the street. People were talking about that place, showing the place. We all know where it's at. We know the neighbors there, everything. So everybody knows that this house is associated with someone being gone. People are talking about, God wouldn't. I saw the guy on what's the very top court TV show. I would never rent there. Somebody died there. And I'm like, how's he sitting here being allowed to give false information? If I was the homeowner, I would have sued that station for him saying that, because him saying that messed my business up. So yeah, I'm gonna want to have overriding access, because we need to get cops, do your job. Here you go. They're telling you they didn't use the cameras. They don't know, they didn't see. I got everything right here for you. I have the master ability to go in. The system can log whenever I go in and look at the cameras. So it can be proven that I don't watch them, but I am going in and overriding the system and getting these cameras so that I can show the cops, here's all the evidence you need to see. And nothing took place at my rental property because I need to rent this out. Yeah, there's going to be people who want to stay there because he stayed there. There's going to be people who want to stay there because the mystery of the crime and all that kind of stuff. There's people out there like that. But that's a sliding, a down scale in comparison to the income that you can continuously make for having a nice unit that you can rent out. Now you got it associated with that. So yeah, I'm gonna have overriding abilities. That is a possibility, and I don't see how there's no camera access just off of that alone, because I'm telling you, for me to have a property, that is how I would do. How many other people who rent are you thinking is gonna be thinking the same way? Come on now. So that's one thing. No footage from the home. I find that too convenient. Footage from the home can be more valuable than people would know. It could tell a lot. Who was there? Who regularly drove that car? Who came and gone regularly? Were there any arguments caught on camera? anything happen outside, any sidebar conversations that we need to know about. When was the last time they were there? Did anybody suddenly come back to the apartment? Who showed up one day unwelcomed and caused a ruckus? Like, so many clues can be gathered from getting surveillance, right? So we don't have surveillance of the home. That's a big problem. Big problem. Okay. What about where the car was parked? Nothing? No surveillance. There's surveillance there, around there, up the street from there, at the nearest grocery store, the nearest gas station, the nearest street corner. There's surveillance everywhere now. This is America. So we got access to what car was pulling in, what car was pulling out, who walked in, who walked out. Zoom in, tags, zoom in, who was driving what, who worked this shift. There's nothing we don't have access to. So to say that you basically have nothing, I don't buy it. That right there tells me this is some BS. So you have this girl in the black man's car, and you just pretty much say, he's not cooperating, bro. You know. You know, her body was decomposed, and she was in a hot box. Now, decomposition on its own will happen rapidly. There's a lot of things that are sustaining us while we're alive. And room temperature can speed it up. That's why bodies are kept on ice, literally cold in the freezer, or in a very high cooler where it's like, I don't know, like a walk-in cooler at work or something, where it's not freezing per se, but it's almost freezing. Only to slow down that process, because without you being alive, it's happening. We were created to be recycled, if you will, and to go back from whence we came. And man is not supposed to have control over that. So that is something that is going to happen rapidly on its own. Warm temperatures alone can speed that up. And someone who just recently had a dead body, I can tell you, decomposition can get busy if it's not super cold and freezing in the environment. And when that happens, you lose vital information, but you don't lose the ability to determine what happened to that person. Okay. It's interesting what little requirements they have on medical examiners. Are we no longer charging? If you check the qualifications for your local medical examiner, you'll find out that they are very minute. If you're thinking that there's some kind of doctor or something, or a chemist or surgeon, child, please. I mean, if you want to be a medical examiner, go put your application in. You can do it. This is definitely one of those you can do whatever you want to type things. So that also can tell you that they can be easily swayed. This should have been fully charged. That's crazy. They can be easily swayed. They can be easily bought. Easily. That's why when you have a death of family member and you are suspicious in any type of way, I never wait on the medical examiner's report like I'm hanging on that in some kind of way. No, I'm already looking for my own person to do the autopsy, researching everything. In fact, I would have that on standby just because I'm a mom. Let something happen to one of my kids. Whatever state they're in, I need somebody on call. If you got money, you could fly them out there. You know, you might have one person and you like, I trust you, I got you, your credentials, everything. You the person that some people have lawyers on standby. You can have a medical examiner. Hey, if I call you, something happened to one of my children, I need you to go down there and do the, do a family or private autopsy on them and let me know what your determinations are. And, their credentials and everything can't be questioned in court or nothing. Because that local medical exam, child, please, the whole team, they all on the same team. They just like pharmacies and doctors. Okay, they like this, like pharmacy and doctors, okay? They like pharmacy and doctors, illnesses, the rest, medicines, that's all one group. Families should always get a second autopsy. I say this all the time, always. And I don't think it's something people think about. I think when people see what the medical examiner says, they take it like they're an upstanding citizen and a trustworthy person. Sometimes they could just be wrong. Sometimes they could just be incomplete. They could just be lazy. I think like today is not that day. I got 5 ahead of them. I got 5 behind them. Or somebody done slipped me $1,000 to hurry up and get Sally on the table. But according to the rules or according to my boss, I gotta get, these all the way too. All right, let's go. Right? Some families don't even send for the reports, the medical reports. I know you don't want to see it, the pictures, all that kind of stuff. You can get you got one person in your family that can handle that shit. Okay, you got somebody you could hire to read it and examine it and tell you. You can give me a cash app and I'll do that. But yeah, it's no excuse. However, these are the times that we're living in. A lot of times we do just trust in what the medical, like Celeste family, okay? We don't hear much from them, and I can't say either way on that because I can never speak on a situation unless I'm actually in it, right? However, I do know that 9 times out of 10, I'm not saying nothing. Something happened to one of mine. Real bad boys move in silence. I'm going to tell you this all day, and I'm going to be on some other type stuff, and I don't got time to be talking to it, because who is you? Like, what you got for me? Who is you? And if you got tips, I might, we might have a spokesperson or somebody be like, if there's something you want to call in, let us know. And if I want to offer a reward or something like that, yeah, maybe. But other than that, you're not going to see me on here. I'm not going to be on here. No, we not doing that, bro. We're not doing none of that. I'm straight to it. I'm just straight to it. So to not hear from them really don't mean nothing to me. Honestly, if anything, I am more likely to assume that they putting in work. Because we didn't even know who Celeste was. Most people don't even do nothing for themselves, much less their loved ones. What the hell are we really gonna do for Celeste but make a video? You know what I mean? So they ain't got time to be on here talking to us and whatnot like that. Doesn't make sense. Medical examiner immediately says Celeste wasn't pregnant, but they don't have, honey, that I spoke on that. They don't have toxicology results, and it all goes to the same lab. Now, I spoke on that when it first happened, and I said this: I did not believe that. That was one of the key things to lead me, because I was already looking at this sideways. But then when I heard that, I said, "Yeah, this is some BS. They on some BS." I'm sure of it. You know what I mean? Because I'm glad you brought that up. Because I think people skip over that and forgot about that. You can't tell me that she's so badly decomposed. Dismemberment don't got nothing to do. Okay? Because if you got a finger of mine, you can get so much information from the finger. Of course, you need my body because it to determine a lot of things, like maybe how I died of what, but you can determine a lot from my finger. You can do blood tests and all that kind of stuff. You can it's just a lot that you can do, so we're gonna leave that there. However, if you're saying that she was dismembered, you don't have all her body parts, okay, and in question of pregnancy, and what are we talking about here? Okay, so you do have some of her body. Okay, so you can do a blood pregnancy test on a dead body. I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna say no. Anybody in the medical field can back me up, because although I am knowledgeable in this, it's been some years, since I been dealing with any of this. So I'm gonna go off memory here. Okay, now when a woman is pregnant, even before you can do a regular pregnancy test, pee on the stick, right? You can do an earlier test, which is a blood test. You can draw blood and you can determine in her blood if she is pregnant, because there are things that happens to a woman that changes when you're pregnant, because now you're creating a whole new life. A new entity needs to be a succubus. It needs to be a parasite. It needs to leech off of you and take everything that you got and go and give. And so that it can create itself and then be a whole human, like what you see before you right now. I was in my mom's womb, and that can go any kind of way. It can. You give them what they need, or they gonna take what they need, and there could be battles going on and all kind of stuff, but it's serious. It's life for life. So there's definitely changes that do not get bypassed, and they're going to show up through urine, testing chemicals, and they're going to show up through blood, right? And there's this thing called HCG, and we can use that for example to talk about, like, what are we testing? When you're testing something that has changed in a pregnant woman, right? That would not be that way for someone who is not pregnant. They're going to have high and low levels. And that is another way, along with ultrasound, that doctors and nurses can tell you how far along you are. Because you can sit up there and act like, when it was your last period? Okay, sometimes you still have one, right? And you're pregnant. When was the last time you had intercourse? Oh, you want to act? Okay, cool. We can find out pretty much how far along you are in many different ways, right? So these tests, and the blood test is definitely the most accurate, can tell that you are pregnant. If you are at risk for miscarriage, if you had a miscarriage recently, even if the baby and its remains are not even still in you, it takes a while. That's why when women have babies, it takes a while for your hormones and things to get back into you know, I ain't gonna say normal, but to be released of all the extra stuff that your body needed when you were pregnant, right? So they can tell from your blood if you were recently pregnant. Let's say you had an abortion, they're still gonna know you were pregnant. They can tell if she was pregnant when she died. If they have her body, they should be able to know, right? They should be able to know if you have some parts of her body. Now, for them to say that they cannot determine her being pregnant or not, which I think at one point was what was being said, I will have to call BS on that, because even if she was 2 weeks, 3 weeks, whatever, at this point, there's no test that is off limits because she's a deceased body. So I'm not gonna see him be like, no, don't stick a needle in my belly because I don't want you to, I don't trust you. You know, we be protective of our, and that's good. And I might say, don't stick a needle in my belly, you know, for whatever test, to see if there's some genetics, see if there's who the baby daddy, whatever. Or any other type of test. I want to do a biopsy or whatever. I'm not rejecting any test because I'm deceased. You can have your whole way with me, right? Whatever tests need to be done to determine the changes in the mama's body to show that that body was nurturing a fetus. I guess we can call it fetus. They should be able to find out. For them to not be able to find out, that body got to be a Skeletor. A complete Skeletor. If you watch He-Man, Skeletor all the way. And I doubt that was the case. You know, yes, decomposition is a mother. Yes, being in a microwave hot box in the sun, whoever came up with that idea, that's all I mean, because, and then go about your business. Now, all the rest of the stuff, leaving a car, leaving a body in the garage, all that shit was stupid because somebody gonna find it, here you are. What you do with the car after that part was stupid. But put the body parts in the car and let it cook, genius. Because you want to get rid of all evidence, right? And sometimes people try to burn a body. You might be able to burn up outside particles, DNA, hair, that may if you fell or something. If I drop my bendy on there, you know, my nose ring come out, blah, blah, blah. You might be able to get rid of stuff like that, fingerprints, skin, you know, but you're not burning up that body. It takes 400 plus degrees. You can't do that with a regular fire. So that kind of would be pointless. But cooking that body, oh shit, yeah. Would it be dried up completely? No. For people who think that, because I feel like that's the impression they're trying to give people. How she was found, it was given cartel. Yep. So, and it's like, it could be, but it could be also just meant to look like that. It could also be somebody, that's how they get down, or that's what they decided to do. Let's make it look like that so they'll think it's that. Because if you say that, there could be things that we don't know or even know to think of, but why? Like, why would the cartel do this to her? Who needed the message? Because usually the message isn't for the person who they chop up. So who would the message be for? We haven't heard anything about this dude really that tells us that he is into anything except for extreme gore. Goth gore. I'm gonna say gore. Not even grunge. I'm talking about gore. Drugs. Has anybody said drugs? Nobody said drugs. Could that be possible? Hell yeah. Could he just be sadist? It's given that he is. I'm inclined to think that he is. Because when do you not break character? Somewhat, at least. I mean, your girl was found in the car. But I think he is damn sadist. And I think that there's not too many artists unless somebody is completely writing all their stuff. It's not too many artists that their music does not reflect their real life. You know, that just, I mean, where are they getting it from? Anything I create is a reflection of my mind. It's a reflection of me. Where did it come from? Where did the idea come from? Even if I've seen it before, where did the idea come from to make these hats, for instance? I chose the style, I chose the color pattern, I chose the fabric. There's a reason why I wanted to use the fur on this. You know what I'm saying? There's a reason why I wanted this tan color. Okay? There's a reason why I chose the bucket style for this particular hat. I can break this down and explain it to you, you know? Um so and now when I take this off, my hair gonna be completely messed up. So I guess we rocking a hat now. So there's a stain right there. I can feel it. I gotta watch that. So his music had to be a reflection of his life, meaning he was living that. He kept speaking on his alter ego taking over. Ah, you know, I find that is very common in the music industry, regardless of the genre. Even America's Beyonce, who some people like to classify or look at her as if she is like a sweetheart, an innocent girl, and that's not the case. First of all, let's be clear. You don't get to those levels being a good girl. You don't get to those levels being nice to people. You don't get to those levels being a sweetheart. Like Taylor Swift. Cute. Yeah, she's cute. The, I love the red lipstick. It just goes. I mean, cute, but it's not cute. It's never cute. These people have to be cutthroat and heartless. When people are out here talking about them and her, like say Taylor Swift, Beyonce, Jay-Z, a lot of stuff that I've heard, I've actually done research on, and I found that for the stuff I researched, 99% of it was true. But a lot of fans don't want to believe that because they see them a certain way and they think that however they see them, they see them. Some see Beyonce, oh, she's so beautiful, she's an angel, she's so perfect, she's an amazing mother, she's the banana. And some just want to be in a fantasy of that character. And I'm just like, but that's a whole evil entity right there. I mean, it is. And when they come on here themselves and tell you, my alter ego takes over, duh, there's your proof right there. They're literally telling you the rest is on you. You don't want to believe it. So they're no different than David. They're really not. It's just people choose to look at them differently. You know, Taylor Swift has this look about her. Beyonce has this look to some people because she don't look like she should be classified as sweet innocent or nothing like that. That should look demonic and evil to me. But that's, you know, I don't think any of them are any different are exempt. You know, none of them. I think they all have alter egos. I do understand it to a certain degree because me talking to you right now could never be the same person to get on stage and be a full-on star. You know, like how they are. The Michael Jackson in the interviews is not that same Michael on stage. We know that. We can pull up his interviews right now and see the energy and listen to him, and he would never make it on stage if he was that Michael. You know, he has to turn into a whole nother Michael. He's never presented to us an alter ego, but it's still kind of the same thing because you have to morph into another person. So when I'm working out, when I'm doing my dances, when I'm creating, when I'm in create mode, when I go into these modes, I'm conjuring up another person. I eventually morph into another person. I'm not necessarily the same person that would be talking to my children or my grandchildren, or would be hanging out with some friend, or somebody that I care about. I'm not gonna be in that same mode. Sometimes, I wouldn't even put people around me when I'm in another mode, or you don't want people to see you in all kind of other modes because they have a certain experience with you, a certain image with you, and they wouldn't necessarily understand or get it or be surprised to see it. Like, who is that person? Who is this person? I don't got time to understand to explain it. It's like David Banner. It said, "You wouldn't like me if I'm angry." Let me see if I could take this off without looking too crazy. See how you can do all kind of stuff with this hat? But I think that there is a difference given your practices, your beliefs, and your genre. Okay. So when you get into gore, grunge, I'm into those musical categories. I'm into a lot of musical categories now. So we're not just gonna say, oh, I'm just into gore and grunge and all that. So I have the ability to be here, there, but give it balance and not, I guess, not go too far with it and just be, I like it, I indulge in it, blah, blah, blah. Does that make me an innocent? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. There's all sides to people. So there's all sides to me too. And so I can admit that when you step into these areas, you're stepping into a different realm that could lead to dangerous roads. Okay. Now, in my opinion, if you don't get in and get out, then it's almost a guarantee that you're going to encompass these things actually. Like, you're actually going to encompass these things. It's unavoidable. It's like your mind, your conscious mind and your subconscious mind. Your mind knows what you give it, what you tell it. That's why people say, I grew up like this. Watch what you listen to. Watch what you watch. Watch what you take in. It is important. Watch what you fall asleep to. That's one of the most important things you should adhere to. Because what you're doing is you're programming your subconscious mind, which is another reason why they put hidden sounds and frequencies and messages in commercials, in music, in a lot of things. So you hear Joanna, I love you. Now that is a real song, so I'm not saying this is actually happening in this song, but I'm just using it because it's saying, Joanna, I love you. And you hear that and you're like, you're the one for me. Oh, I like that. Yeah, that's groovy. Music sounds so good. She's so fine. Nice. But then what you're not, like, your mind hears it, but you don't consciously hear it. Going in the background is kill a bird today, kill a bird today, kill a bird today, kill a bird today, kill a bird today. In between the beats, kill a bird today. And you're hearing Joanna, oh, I love you. Even the background, you hear the background track and all that, but you don't hear kill a bird today, kill a bird today, kill a bird today, kill a, but it is there. And it is programming you, kill a bird today, kill a bird today, kill a bird today, kill a bird today. Like, what? You don't even know. And the next thing you know, after listening to that song, you're like, I don't know why, but I just want to kill a bird today. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know what a bird has done to me. I don't know what I'm supposed to get out of this, but I really feel like I'm supposed to kill a bird today. This is important that I kill a bird today. So what do I have to do? Which your mind is going to set you on a mission to kill a bird today. You got to do, your mind is like, we got to complete this task. So your mind is going to put you on track, and you might be like, hold on, well, but why am I doing that? I doesn't even, and you're not even trying to question it too much because it's already in your mind. So you're going to have a battle with your mind about something that's already in your mind. It's already there. It's just as normal as eat this soup, you know? I ate the soup. It's gone. I ate it. You know what I mean? So you're going to go out and you're going to kill a bird. Okay? And people going to be like, why you do that? Because I wanted to kill a bird today. I mean, I don't understand what your problem is. I just killed the bird today. Or you could be like, why the fuck did I just kill a bird? Joanna. That happens. That's been happening since the beginning of time. And it's been done by some everybody, okay? It's been done by your artists. It's been done by people who give you commercials. It's been done by not the artists themselves, but whoever produced the track, whoever finalized the track. It's been done behind the artist's back. But it is not nothing new. We consume everything we come across without no thought to what is happening to us. So at the beginning of this video, when I played that little excerpt with them saying that these two guys was going to the island of Haiti to conquer all the men in the island and kill them, and then take all the women and children and I don't know that there's a replacement for this word, but to violate them. And it sounds like they were saying that they had plans on hustling the little girls for money. What? Is that real? Well, they're reporting it as real. Could it be real? Could these guys have actually trained for a year so that they can go over to Haiti and do this? Yeah. In their mind, that's their mission. In their mind, they got it. They can do it. Just them two. Them two white boys. That's how they're thinking. That's what they want to do. In my opinion, David. Which I'm gonna show y'all something I can't see from the comments, right? So I don't know how far down y'all can see. You probably see because you can't see the comments, but this says David right here. Okay, just to be clear, let me, so y'all can see this says David right here. Now I'm gonna tell y'all it says that because That's my father name. That's all. That's all. That's it. So now we got that out the way because I don't know that David we talking about, and I didn't know him before this, and I didn't know his music. Am I into gore and shit like that, goth, dark shit? Yeah, yeah. I'm in the light shit, dark shit, shit in between, shit all around. You know, shit up and down. I'm into it. So, but I didn't know him. I don't know that he existed in the realm that they say he existed in. However, based upon the character they have given us, I think the dude is 100% evil. And I find it interesting that his parents are supposed to be Christians and gospel, and they had him in Christian schools, and they homeschooled him, you know, and usually when Christian parents do that, I um, grew up in a cult, and I was homeschooled. I was in Christian and Catholic schools and stuff like that, sheltered from the world, from everybody. A great deal. Okay, a great deal. So I know that the mindset of parents like that are, I'm going to control and mold the person that my child becomes. I am going to literally control and literally mold my child into whom or what I want them to be. And there will be no other outside influences, no TV. They won't watch a commercial. They won't listen to a song on the radio, all because of programming. And that's how I know so much about programming. Everything you listen to is doing one thing. It is programming you. You are choosing to allow that to happen. When you turn on shit, when y'all watch Christian rock, some people tune in every day to every video. Social media got people on that type of time. You're programming yourself. Okay, when you have celebrities that have massive followings and massive amounts of people that tune into them all the time, they are harboring souls. They are operating on frequencies and everything that they are trying to get you onto, to put you on. And a lot of people that tune in know this. A lot of people that tune in are desperately trying to get on that frequency. They want to be on that frequency. However, I think a lot of his audiences were children, unsuspecting children, or children who thought they knew and thought they could handle and thought, just, I understand this and I want this and all that, but you're not old enough to consent to that. You're not old enough to fully understand the consequences. And I think Celeste is one of those youths that were sucked into that shit. I think he is harboring children, harvesting children, conjuring children, towards him. I think that was his intent and purpose from the beginning. The story about, I wasn't getting monetized and all that, I don't buy it. I don't buy it. This case right here, to me, is blowing the lid for some of us. It is blowing the lid off the whole operation. To where that story is not believable at all, because when I look at details and I look at him, I don't know why my eye keep itching, but I look at him and listen to his interviews and stuff like that. It's just, the story is just too cockamamie. One red flag is also the parents. I'm back at the parents again, because I didn't go there fully. Like how I explained about how I came up. David's parents is not going to be that involved in that gung-ho about how they want their children to be, only to Not being poor, broke, homeless, and on the street and all that. And even if you are, if your dedication and faith is to Christianity or to God, He got you, right? In for what you believe, He got you. You good. You don't need to be in agreement with giving your child away to Satan. Essentially, I mean, isn't that not what happened? So, for the story to be that he went to his mom, oh, I'm not getting make your own music. Stop right there. Stop right there. That is where I initially had the problem. She said, make your own music. Doubt it. Doubt it. Again, this David was my cult leader. This David, okay, my father. There's no way in the bloody pit of Hades that that man would have said, make your own music. Okay. I wouldn't have been on that gaming in the first place. Let's start there. Okay. So I guess my situation is more extreme. But let's just pretend that I was. I mean, we just talk about what's rational in this situation. The mom would not say, make your own music, get out my face, shut up. You know, you're too tentative as a mother. You got them homeschooled, boo-boo. No homeschool mother is gonna be like, go make your own music, get out my face. Because she was at a corporate office all day and she just don't want to be bothered because she worked like 80 hours this week. I mean, she's a homeschool mom. That's not how we work things out. No, it's going to be, oh, okay. Well, what are some things? You're coming to me in this panic. You can't think for yourself. Did I not teach you to think? What are some things that you can do to solve that problem? And he's going to have to answer the question. Like, why are you coming to me in a panic at this big old age, first of all? Because that shit don't sound right. So he was a little... I've been doing good. So I'm not going to use that word. So he was the type of kid that go crying to mommy as a teenager over your online stuff that she wouldn't approve of anyway. Because would she approve of you gaming all the time? So what kind of homeschool mother was she? Because I don't know now. If so, they keeping it hush. We got groups. I don't know now. That would just allow their children to just game so much that, you know, you're not even doing it, making a prominent amount of money. So how are you being this avid gamer? Okay, cool. But, you know, like I said, I don't think the mother would have handled it that way. So, but the story tells us that she said, boy, go make your own music, get out my face. And so he started going in his sister closet. First of all, you in your sister room? Yeah, that would that would have never happened in my household. But I mean, I guess everybody different, you know what I mean? Everybody different, but there wouldn't be no brothers in my room, in my closet and shit. Nigga, you about to get your neck broke. What you doing in your sister room? First of all, what you doing in your sister closet? Again, why we keep going in the sister closet? Like, what's happening? So the mom also said, when he was up there making music, we knew. Nobody didn't get stuck right there. You didn't get stuck right there. That woman said every time he made music in that closet, we knew. And the dad barely gave a nod. It's been a while since I seen that, and I only seen it one time, and I remember that shit. It's crazy the shit I remember, shit I don't remember. However, I looked at them like, this is a whole fake story. There's no way my parents would have been sitting there saying, admitting, because this is what they're saying. They're saying, as a Christian family in a Christian household where he was homeschooled or went to Christian schools, and he sat down in the interview and he said his mom. I like how we're understanding that mom run the family. I mean, we're clear on that, right? So there's no confusion as who the boss was or nothing. Even the mom did most of the talking in the interviews, and dad really didn't say anything. Okay, so mom's the boss. It may not be a big deal, but it could be, because his relationship with his mom is going to affect how he view women, how he view females. Okay. You wanted Celeste, but you also wanted to do things to her for a long time. Why? She gave you herself. Why were you like this? So the mom and the dad were in their room reading their Bibles, praying, and asking God to give them the best children, and for their children to grow up to be serving of the Lord and good this and that third. And they would listen to their son all of a sudden upstairs talking about the things he was talking about, making that kind of music. And they said nothing. They allowed it. If they heard him, excuse me, if they heard him, then they heard his words. They also heard his words. I think she let him do what he wanted. He started watching all the gore when he was home all the time. Oh, wow. That's interesting, because now that you say that, I did come across that thought one time, and then I just didn't reveal it, because I said to myself, when did he get into this? Was it a sudden thing? Wow. So at some point, being home all the time, being homeschooled with no alternatives, because what I'm discovering from his interviews is that they didn't keep him occupied. Most of the time when you have homeschooled children, it's because you want to be in control of what they partake in and how they become as a person in society. So if his parents were doing okay, I don't think they were well off per se, but they were doing okay. I would think that they want David to have an opportunity to be wealthy, to be a good citizen, to be well-rounded, to have all kind of skills. I'm talking about music instruments. I'm talking about this club, that club, this, that, and the third. So he didn't sound like he was in no activities or nothing. I was like, so he was just homeschooled just because y'all wanted to homeschool him? Because, like, what are we doing here? Because basically it looked like he was schooling himself. Damn. So he was home into gore. So I know they heard the lyrics through the floor, through the walls. So I'm like, something in the buttermilk ain't clean. This family is not what he is saying, in my opinion. Because no family that's truly into all this Christianity and stuff is going to be okay with him doing it. And he'd have had pushback. They'd have been like, you would not play that in my house. You would not sing that in my house. You're looking dark. You're starting to look like the devil. That is please, Christians, they be the first ones. They be the first ones, okay? Or you think, oh, my shit came from rebellion. Oh, the jewelry, the piercings, the tattoos, dark colors, anything that's starting to look like the devil, they gonna find your ass right off top as their kid. No, we don't wear that in here. You take that off. Oh, that music, oh, that sounds. Hey, Dr. Seuss, that music sounds like it is demonic. It doesn't sound like it's of the Lord. So it's gotta go. So it sounds like he had no resistance. The mom just said, "Oh, we can hear every single time." So you knew what he was into. So when homeboy came to you and said, "I gotta close this because now I'm cold, y'all. Let me go close this patio real quick. It's freezing me, freezing me, freezing me." My blankie, my blankie, my blankie, my blankie, my blankie. That cold air started getting to me. Shit, I'm freezing. So the mom, who clearly was the boss lady, the mom didn't say, David, that music is very, very against God. That music is not God. Like, even Kanye said in his song that he would follow God with his dad. And he said, wait, stretch my hands to you. Like yelling with my dad, arguing at my dad. He tell me that ain't Christ like. Like, your mama didn't tell you that wasn't Christ like? No? Okay. All right. So she was pretty much supportive and okay. All right. So when y'all get the record deal, the parents say, "Nah, we don't believe you." That's all. So when they go down there, talk to the people. They want to hire your son, assign him to make this kind of music. And y'all into Christianity. So much so that you took your babies and put them homeschool and y'all Bible and all that. Girl, bye. Something ain't right. I'm not buying none of it. None of it. So let's get back to him. I forgot.
They're keeping this going. You know what I'm saying? Like, obviously it's not being talked about the way that it was on TikTok and YouTube, but there's still a lot of people keeping up with this case. And I just think it is getting weird that the information isn't coming out from the LAP.
He pretty much saying everything I said in my last video. Shout out to you, because you watched my video. Good for you.
We keep getting it from TMZ, and we know what that is all about. But just wanted to use this video to go over these new updates and things that people have been saying about it recently. So with that being said, let me not talk too much, and we'll go ahead and jump into the first update. Now, this is from Harvey himself, and he's going to tell you some of the grim details about her body.
Who is Harvey?
We didn't know until now.
Harvey from TMZ? We don't care. Nobody should be showcasing anything from TMZ. Listen, this is what I'm saying. TMZ was not respected. TMZ was not respected. TMZ was never respected. Since when do we all of a sudden, TMZ is y'all's news source now? TMZ is y'all news source. How? How is that? Make that make sense?
Check this out, y'all.
The major developments in the Celeste Rivas death. TMZ has learned that her body had been frozen, and when it...
First of all, Frozen, like the movie. So she a Disney character now? TMZ is demonic. TMZ, I don't know if this is the status they wanted, but I'm going to go ahead and say that it's been a long goal of theirs. To be your go-to, to be your news source, to be your god of information. And notice that most of this shit is about celebrities. So you're letting TMZ harvest your soul for celebrities. Just so that you can get information on celebrities that 9 times out of 10 is not even true. TMZ. Y'all went from, how did TMZ know first? How did TMZ know first to your news source being TMZ? You don't find that suspicious?
Was found, it was still partially frozen in the back of David's car, and it was in such bad condition that we are told the medical examiner may never be able to establish the cause of death. So here's what we know. When the body was found, it was in terrible condition. It had been decapitated, the torso was intact, the limbs had been removed, and they were cut up severely. That body was partially frozen in the trunk, and this is really important because remember, the body had been sitting there for days before it was finally impounded and then the body discovered. And it was still, the body parts were...
How long was this girl deceased? That surprise witness says, well, I'm not going to say says, but has brought forth some things to suggest that there were very recent sightings of Celeste. August, at his concert, shit like that. The way they talking, she was dead for years. Sure wasn't. So she was frozen, partially frozen. What'd they put her in to freeze her? Oh, they cut her up, so. A deep freezer? Wait a minute. Miss Mary Mac, all dressed in black. Silver buttons, all down her back. Partially frozen. Left in a hot box for days. Dismembered. Partially frozen. When you found her, she's partially frozen after being in the hot box for days. I can't. Yeah, y'all falling for this? Y'all falling for this? She's partially frozen, so she wasn't even supposed to be dead long enough to really be frozen. What you think, this is a steak? So, her body, because this is what y'all telling me. Harvey with your ugly ass. This nigga. This ugly ass nigga right here. This looking ass nigga right here. That soul harvesting nigga right there. She was so frozen that when you got her out the hot box after being in there for days, she was still partially frozen. But I can't tell y'all now, because they messed her up when they cut her up and they froze her. Well, I used to go with my mama to the meat market. She pick a hog. They drag it up the thing, squealing and screaming, shocking it in the head. Go, shut the fuck up. So the pig knew he was dying. Take him in there. They even let you shock him. If you, yeah, when you're a kid, you come all the time. They let you want to shock him one time. You want to shock him in the head. They killed the pig, cut it up. I could not eat pork from the day that I arrived on this earth. Every time she cooked that shit, I get sick. I'm throwing up. I'm throwing up. I gotta leave out the house. The smell lingers. I'm sick. I'm throwing up. I'm sick. I'm throwing up. They was like, something wrong with her. I'm like, bro, this shit is making me sick. Something wrong with y'all. They chop the pig up. You put it in pieces, right? And you freeze the shit. Or what are we doing that for? Preservation? So it'll be worth something? They make skins. She used to give my aunt stayed right up the street. Same street, top of the street. She take the skins, put them in the oven, and they make skins like potato chips. They make bacon, sauce, cheese, fat back, pig feet, pig nose, pig tongue, chitlins, all of that from that pig. My dad used to hunt bear, hunt deer. I skin them. We skin them. Chop, 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 chop. Freeze them. What we put them in the freezer for? So they be somewhere, something when we take it out and we get ready to cook it and eat it. Preservation. So they froze her, but they didn't preserve nothing. That's what you're saying? They froze her so good that she's still partially frozen after being in a hot oven for days. It was a bad freeze, because when she thawed out, you couldn't. I don't have any answers. Snake. Dad used to hunt snakes. Skin them. Take the meat. Freeze it. We ate snake meat. Rabbit. I didn't eat the rabbit. Listen, y'all. I didn't eat the rabbits. I had pet rabbits. I didn't eat the rabbits. All of it went in the freezer. But if you have raw, hot meat, that's what I call it, hot meat. Hot meat is not meat you get from the store. Hot meat is meat that comes fresh out the skin, out the flesh, out the body of a mammal that was warm and had blood through its veins. Go get you something out the supermarket and get you some hot meat. Put them both in the freezer. Same thickness. And see how long it take each one of them to freeze. So Celeste was frozen so much so that after days in the oven, she was still partially frozen. Yet your whole crew Now we can't really do nothing with this. Fire everybody. Fire everybody because your story is trash. And clearly your ability to do your own job is trash. It's bullshit. It's bullshit.
Still partially frozen. So we are told that when the body first went to the medical examiner's office in early September, it was listed as an apparent homicide, but that was just from what seemed obvious, that the body was cut up into pieces. The medical examiner is having a really tough time right now trying to figure out what the cause of death was. We are told it is likely the cause of death will go undetermined because of the condition of the body and the fact that it was frozen and the fact that it was cut up the way it was. So we have
The only way that this in my mind could go undetermined is if they didn't use any chemicals. She didn't have anything in her system. It was asphyxiate. No, I'm sorry, I can't give undetermined on that. What else can I think of? Choking, asphyxiation, same thing. I got nothing. If you have a body, and I used to want to be a mortician. That's a whole nother story for another day. How can they not determine if they have her body? Oh, and some of it was still partially frozen after being in a hot-ass oven for days. Because she froze that good. They froze her that good. They froze that body. They froze hot meat that well. Do you see my head? In case you don't, I'm saying no. I'm saying these people are lying to you. Okay. All of it is a lie. It is a nasty lie. It is a filthy lie.
That we know, Dave.
And it's TMZ telling you this. Playing with your ass.
It is a suspect, and even if it is undetermined, the LAPD can still move forward, as could the LA County District Attorney. The LAPD is viewing this as a homicide. David is a suspect. We know this. And one of the keys to the case.
No, we know this. He's been a suspect in our book.
That authorities say David
from day one.
In the middle of the night back in this spring to a remote area of Santa Barbara County. We are now also told that there is a second suspect, and our information is that the second suspect has something to do with the cutting up of the body. Now, Mark Garagos, who is
one person did it by themselves.
Co-host on the Two Angry Men podcast, told us in the most recent
Look at him
podcast,
plugging his podcast. Plugging his podcast. Go listen to my podcast. This is the name of it. And in our recent episode, blah, blah, blah. I ain't gonna lie. I'm shocked that after all these years, y'all gave TMZ this. You gave them this energy, this power to become your source for actual... I know it's celebrity. I guess celebrity. Well, no, he open for SZA. He a fucking celebrity. But you gave TMZ the power to be your news source, bro.
That his information is that this second suspect is being looked at not just for dismembering the body, but also for what happened before, during, and after Celeste's death. So there is a second suspect that the LAPD has its sights on. They have identified the person. Garagos says he knows who it is, not saying. But it is a second suspect implicated here. So obviously the question, how on earth did this body go from Santa Barbara, if that's indeed where it was taken, and that seems to be the operating theory of the LAPD, that if it was taken to Santa Barbara, how did it end up back in Los Angeles in the trunk of David's car in a residential neighborhood? The only thing that makes sense, and that's months and months later, the only thing that makes sense is that based on connecting the dots, it would seem that this body was put in a freezer for an extended...
You hear this shit? Okay. She was taken from Santa Barbara, girl. But Santa Monica? Santa Barbara? You know where the... What's the name of it? Oh, gosh. The vampires. Oh, gosh. Don't make this mess. Don't you do that. I'm trying to pass my... The vampire... What's the vampire movie? I'll come back with it. The Lost Boys. The Lost Boys. Thou shalt not kill. So she was frozen so that they could transport her. So they took the days and days and days and days and days and days to freeze her. Because this fool wants you to be so slow in your head that you think that they put her in the freezer, oh no, for a few hours overnight, and she froze. And she froze so good. Child, she froze so good that she stayed frozen the entire trip. In the trunk now. Or in the front. And when they got there and left her for days again, she stayed frozen. And when the police found her, she was still partially frozen. Is we finished or is we done? He's got some more to see he want to say, because my brain is like, child, give me a break. Okay, my brain wants a break from this madness. Mad.
period of time. And it was so frozen that by the time it got in the car, it took a long time for it to unfreeze, and it had not fully unfrozen at the time the body was discovered at the impound lot. So again, it looks like there may never be a cause of death determined by the medical examiner. The body was frozen. Just keep looking at TMZ.
Now, I'm going to play him and I ain't going to say nothing. I want y'all to listen. He going to keep saying frozen.
It would seem that this body was put in a freezer for an extended period of time, and it was so frozen that by the time it got in the car, it took a long time for it to unfreeze, and it had not fully unfrozen at the time the body was discovered at the impound lot. So again, it looks like there may never be a cause of death determined by the medical examiner. The body was frozen. Just keep looking at TMZ. We will have more updates as the days pass.
Keep looking at
now,
TMZ.
As far as that update goes, it sounds like some sick ass shit, y'all.
Frozen.
And almost every real update, there's more questions to be asked. Some random trip that they don't have many details about, just that he was tracked on this random trip, kind of like the middle of the night, to a desert, and this other person who obviously helped him, who may have did more of the dismembering, they're not releasing. They said now her body was frozen. For some reason, it made me think about Kanika Jenkins, but I know that case is completely different. But now the body was frozen, so badly
they playing with us,
decomposed and cut up, they may never determine how she died. Number one, y'all, they don't even know how long she was dead. They don't know. It's just she may have been dead since.
If this is real, this girl is real, this case is real, they know how long she was dead. Okay, don't do this, y'all. Don't do this. Just don't do it to yourself. We got too many professionals out here. Your mom, your dad, your auntie, your uncles, your friends, your colleagues. You know people in different professions. We don't talk to each other enough. We don't have random roundtable discussions, group chats. You gotta have people of all walks of life in your circle. Somebody should be around you that is smarter than you. Somebody should be around you that is smarter than you in different areas. You understand what I'm saying? Not you are never a dummy, okay? And never a flaw. The only thing that make you dumb is when you don't check shit out. You don't research. You don't look around. You don't ask questions. You don't look for real answers. You don't really be like, baby, this don't make no sense. This is not realistic. They looking you dead in your face over and over and over again. And it's not just this case, but over and over and over again, and telling you BS. And you just, I'm saying you because it's really all of us, right? We're here and we're like, what did we do? What did we do to you? When did we ask for this? You know, I thought this country was about education and stuff. Now you just want us to be flat out dummies. You just want us to be old dummies. You want to play with us. It's a simulation. Like you just want to tell us anything. You want to sit up here and tell us, y'all, just logically it doesn't make any. She said it's not adding up. So many dots are not logically connecting. That's all you need right there. That's all you need right there. If your brain is doing that, you on the right path. You still got some normalcy in you, and there is hope for you, because too many of us are so far gone. They like, oh my God, TMZ said she was frozen, and they never gonna be able to tell us what happened. And guess what? David is still not cooperating. When you say so many dots are not logically connecting, facts. Why? We know why the dots are not connecting. Why are they doing this? There's a why for everything. There's a why for everything. There are reasons why. Who does this? Just to have fun? That could be. I don't know. Who goes out their way to keep doing shit like this? David, Celeste, all them people can be made up characters. When I look at stuff like Krishan and Blueface, the circus is exactly that, a circus. These people are players placed on this board to distract and entertain you. I said this a long time ago, y'all. When we first started seeing like people troll us on social media, because remember, I came up, we didn't have online, we didn't have the World Wide Web, we didn't have social media sites. Okay, when people first started just trolling us, it's on my Sister Soul channel. If I'm gonna share the video. I did a video. Ain't no telling how many years ago that was. And I told y'all these trolls are getting out of hand and they're getting too much power. And eventually they're gonna start having their own pages, their own accounts, and they're gonna start talking and acting like they're one of us, like they're real people, like they're real channel holders, like they're real commentators. And it's gonna get worse and worse from there, because they are going to be allowed to do this. They are giving the power. Okay, and trolls went from being the least respected to being that those in the chat to it's so many troll channels and they get the most views, the most comments, the most likes, the most clicks. And AI is now taking control, taking the place of where the trolls were. And before, when I said y'all stop, don't listen to AI. Don't listen to the AI voice. When you click on a video, when you see the thumbnail, you see that this is looks like AI, keep it moving. Go find you a creator that you actually know, that you can actually see sitting there talking, and stick with those people. Don't go for the shiny new thing in the corner. You have these AI channels and you can hear the voice is AI. Even if you think you know that that is a real channel holder, every video you click on, it's an AI voice running it. Now you're programming your minds, just like these foods. How does our body handle fake food? It took time, little bit at a time, and change our DNA. Y'all are so used to AI voices now and trolls. I told y'all years ago, you can get a job. You can go to Craigslist, you can get a job as a different positions, but you can go into Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and you can be a troll. That's why I was warning y'all about the trolls. You can be a troll. So you argue with people in the comment section to keep it going, right? Or you go in there and say, I'm making a video about why apples are so good for you. Apples are delicious. Apples are nutritious. And then the troll comes and get in the comment section and say, I don't know. My grandma told me never to eat apples because apples will eat out the lining of your stomach. And next thing you know, people are like, I never heard that before. That sounds serious. I wonder if that person is telling the truth. I'm like, yes, because my grandma, and then here comes another troll. Yeah, my grandma told me the same thing. And here comes another troll. Yeah, my uncle died from eating apples. Never eat apples. You see what I'm saying? And you could actually get jobs that would pay you. They got bots to do it now. Too late now, y'all. But the same way with everything else, you know, they get on panels. When y'all start doing the, oh, you don't have to show your face if you don't want to, just come on up and all that other shit. Listen, there are people who are paid to be personalities in real life. Okay, David could be fake, Celeste could be fake. You can be too invested in people that aren't even real, story that isn't even true. This isn't even adding up. Mind you, we're living in a day and age where these stories last a week, 2 weeks, at best. Now this one is dragging, but where's it going? Where's it gonna go? What we gonna get from it? Oxtails and cabbage. What we gonna get from it? Where's it gonna lead us? Do you think we're gonna get a solving of this? Do you think we're gonna get some answers? Again, you don't even know that Celeste is real. Her family, we don't know that they're real. Even when they come and talk to us. There's too many stories that we have let come and go for me to see people genuinely concerned about someone in a story. If you cannot transfer that energy to real life, I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it. I'm not buying none of this. This is too ridiculous. It's too ridiculous. There's no way they froze her body, first of all. Unless Celeste been dead long ass time ago. Her body is not going to be that frozen in a few hours or overnight. No. She going to need to be in that freezer for a while. Then, traveling, she thawing out, bo. In the front, in the heat, Yeah, and they found her days later, and she still watched the film. And on top of that, they telling you they really don't know how they gonna get evidence. Fire the whole lot of them and throw them in jail for just being full of it.
They have no idea how long she was dead. They may not know how she died.
They know.
There's already people on TikTok.
They know.
Putting together.
They know.
A freezer that was in a box.
They know. They know. Look at
one of David's homes, or the home that he was in. I don't know. I'm gonna play the video and let y'all watch.
They know. They got a guesstimate at best. They know. They know. Too much surveillance out here. They know when the last time that girl was seen alive. That's their job. They know. It's too much surveillance in America. They know. They know. They know. They know.
There's already people putting this stuff together. So
I'm about to go sleep on this bullshit.
And digs up stuff.
Telling you, do I get more
they
cozy?
are even trying to release information.
Yeah.
I just feel like this is very spiritual. One big, sick ritual. And that's why we're getting a lot of the information from TMZ and not the LAPD. Because it's like everything that's a ritual that goes through the industry comes from TMZ. It's like it's TMZ's job to break that news to us.
I'm your mama,
since
I'm
it's
your
ritual,
daddy,
it's
I'm
involved
your
with somebody
nigga
from
in
it.
the attic. Listen, I don't know why it just made me think of this. Ray J, Krishan. That little heifer on some serious dope. And Ray J is a pusher, right? That 3 guy is not her real. They don't date. Anybody can see that this is a business deal. To watch this girl spiral out with this baby, crazy. But Ray J was last with Whitney before Whitney passed. Oh, my battery about to die. I didn't even see this happening. So I'm probably gonna lose y'all. But I'm telling y'all. Y'all sitting here watching. That girl and her baby probably gonna come up deceased. Okay. I'm gonna let this guy finish. Well, not really. I'm gonna speed him up because he doing good, but we done pretty much heard it.
Industry. Crazy, but look, let's check out this clip from TikTok from someone who's already putting together some of the details about the freezer.
I need some blush and color on this face
I
right
haven't
now.
heard this far into it. That's a commercial.
They came out with this limited.
Because I'm about to be asleep. So we're going to hurry up.
I'm pretty sure that I already talked about the freezer in the background of one of David's YT shorts from, I believe, September of 2024 in the past. But now that we have confirmation that Celeste's body was frozen for a period of time, let's revisit this. And I'll also share kind of what's going on Reddit. So this right here is the video that people are talking about. And as you can see, there is a box with what looks to be an unopened freezer chest. This right here is the box zoomed in. Take a look at that logo because it matches this logo right here, a Media freezer chest. They have one that is 7 cubic feet and one that is 5.1 cubic feet. This video was posted on September 4th, 2024, and while this is definitely sus and could hint at premeditation, this video was not actually filmed at either of the rental properties associated with David in California. When you look at the background of like this video right here and compare it to David's rental properties, you can see that this is not a match to either. Now, this is when we get into the whole Reddit of it all. 31 days ago, someone made a post on Reddit saying that they believe that this video was filmed at producer Andrew Luce's studio/house. Now, Andrew is connected to David. The two have worked on several different songs together, including the song I'd Rather Pretend and Always Love. Now, this right here is a photo that Andrew posted to his IG. This is relevant because many people believe that this is Andrew's residence. I don't know if this is his residence or if it's his studio or if it's someone above his studio or residence or whatever the case may D4vd, but he was here. And this is going to be relevant in a second, but as you can see, there's a lot of trees outside. Now, if you look at this video of David and the singer Brian Barnes, you can see behind Brian, there's a piano, and to the right, there is a bookshelf. In many of the videos on Brian Barnes' TikTok page, you can see him playing a piano, and to the side of him is a bookshelf. And when it's daylight, you can actually see that behind the bookshelf is a window, and that window shows a ton of trees. So wherever this residence is, whoever lives here or owns it, we know that there are connections to Andrew, Brian, and David here, so this is not a residence that David rented or lived at. So could this freezer chest be the chest that Celeste's body was stored in? It's possible, but we have to remember that there are millions of freezer chests out there. Could he have been given this freezer chest to take home because whoever lives here wasn't going to use the freezer? Could Celeste's body have been stored in this specific freezer at this specific residence/studio in the middle of the forest? It's possible. That would be very, very morbid and would highlight that multiple people may have known about this, but I also feel like it's possible that it could just all be a major coincidence.
David allegedly froze her body. Celeste's body was frozen, then dismembered and put in the trunk. And yes, we've confirmed that it was dismembered. Don't scroll, pay attention. So, TMZ and other sources have found out that the coroner has confirmed that parts of Celeste's body was frozen. And all that time she was sitting in that car, she was thawing out. She was defrosting in the whip. There's more. Not only police found out there was a second suspect that could have been there before, after, and during Celeste's passing, but also that person accompanied David to a remote area in Santa Barbara where they stayed there for hours. And the last time Celeste was seen alive,
how long you think it would take her to thaw out?
2024. So who really knows how long she was frozen? This is something straight out of Dexter. Like, LA police, what's going on? That David money must be long, because I promise you, folks would have been locked up in Florida off of the allegation alone. Now we know her body was frozen and dismembered and threw in the trunk to defrost and be left. So, like, did them boys forget to report the car stolen?
Now, what's even crazier is, if I'm not mistaken, that clip about the freezer, he started that clip saying, I know a lot of y'all have seen my previous video on the freezer, but let me go over it again. So the internet had already peeped that freezer at whichever property they were at. If it was the producers, like rental property in LA somewhere, California somewhere, okay, cool. They already found that. I never seen anything about the freezer on the internet, but you know, if you search deep enough on TikTok, you could probably go back to October, early October, September, with a bunch of things that you've never seen about the case that people find, right? So that tells me people already, you know, the smallest thing about this case, they had theories about. And now they come out and actually tell us the body was frozen. They don't know how long it was frozen. The crazy thing is, when they found the body, look how long they took to tell us that the body was actually frozen. It's like they're waiting on purpose to give us certain details about the case, when you could have put that out when y'all found her originally. It's not like they found Celeste and 3-4 months later, now they're figuring out the body was frozen. They could have.
I wouldn't say too much about when they put or how they put. All of that type of stuff is always going to be strategic on behalf of the police, because you know, they're trying to solve a case. So they're not going to just tell you shit. Like, who is you? Let's be real. If they feed in something, it's all strategic. It's in hopes to, caught it. It's in hopes to get something back, to hear something, to see the way a person move, to, you know, trigger a suspect. Suspects say, ooh, they know about that. They ain't say nothing about this, though. Does it mean that doesn't matter? Does it mean that they're uncovering something there? Does it mean that that's significant? Does it mean blah, 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 blah? There's just, if you're in criminal justice, man, come on now. We're solving a murder here. Get the fuck.
Ben told us the body was frozen. I'm pretty sure they
don't need to tell you
when they got the body.
They don't need to tell you,
They
though.
said the body was thawing out. Y'all, how much do we not actually know? Do they know everything? They're just slow rolling this out to the public.
Maybe.
I mean, if you really think about this case,
It's a murder case. It ain't been solved.
It's kind of being prolonged. It's
Nobody went
like,
to trial.
that's why I said
What
it
you
kinda
mean
reminds me of
slow
the
rolling?
Jenkins thing, because people, it just
They
keeps
really ain't
going,
supposed to
like,
tell
the
you
internet is
nothing.
on this case, and it almost seems like no matter what the result is, especially if it's not pinned on David, there's going to always be questions and theories about what really happened to her, especially with them saying they're not going to be able to determine how she was killed, but they are calling it a homicide. So they won't know anything. Not if she was stabbed, not if she was drugged, poisoned, strangled, shot. They won't know anything. They cut her body up. This is crazy.
This could just be something they just saying. I'm tired of him because he seemed like he don't know enough, and he should know more because he do a lot of videos. Like, boy, this is people investigating a murder at the end of the day, you know. So sometimes they may release false information too, y'all, to throw people off and to see how they talk and see how they're moving. You know, so you just never know what to think. But it is ridiculous for the public to come on here thinking that because something happened, you're supposed to get all the information, and you're supposed to get information as it's discovered by law enforcement. Why would you think like that? Do you want it solved? Do you want somebody to go to court? You want somebody to go to trial? Do you? Or you just want to be able to know things and talk about it on the internet? Because you can't have both. You can trade one for the other. Are you trying to catch a suspect, a guilty party? Maybe they won't do it to nobody again unless it's in jail. Or you just want to know shit. Okay. All right. We'll see. We gonna